Welcome to another exciting story time brought to you by ABC Read and ABC Learn, in which I am here to help you develop and nurture that love of reading in every child as well as every adult. How are you all doing out there today, evening, real early in the morning, real late at night, whatever time of day it is, wherever you are around the globe? I hope that you all are doing absolutely ecstatic, and I hope that you all have read or your plan is to read for at least 30 minutes, y'all. That's what's up. Well, before we get started, as always, what I try to do is give you guys some great reading aloud tips, reading strategies, ways in which to help you guys develop and nurture that love of reading, all right? And one of the ways you can do that is by, if there is a book that you have read by a particular author and you really enjoyed that book, well, you could do something as simple as this: go and find other books by that same author so that you can continue with your reading progress. All right. And the reason what made me bring this up is because when I was having a conversation one early morning before the sun had even risen with my 15-year-old son, and he was, explaining about how it's been hard for him to find books that he really enjoys. And so I asked him, I said, what books that you have read in the past that you really like? And so he talked about this one book in particular. And actually, I mean, he got this book back, and I want to say either fifth or sixth grade. A teacher had gave him this book during deer time. And the book is called V is for Villain. Some of you out there may have heard of that book. I can't remember the author's name. And so I told my son simply this. I said, well, since you enjoyed that book so much by that author, all you have to do is go find other books written by that same author and start there. Just as simple. All right. And so he was like, aha. I was like, see, that's what mamas is for. All right. You know what I'm saying? So that's what's up. So he was like, he all looking all like, I said, well, hey, it's not rocket science, in ways in which we trying to get our kids to read. I mean, it is really, really that simple, okay? So let's not make it hard. Let's make reading pleasurable as much as we possibly can. And that's what I'm here to do for you all right now. We're about to get started again. I'm still reading from this book right here, all right, called Stealing the Game, written by Kareem, Abdul-Jabbar, and Raymond Obstfeld, all right? And Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, for those of you who are not familiar with who he is a retired NBA player, all right? National Basketball Association, all right? You talking about brother who won championships upon championships and all that great stuff. But his passion also is reading and learning, and in particular, trying to get books out there that represent children from the Black community, which I love and appreciate so, so much. All right. And again, I've been reading from this book. This is a chapter book. First chapter, go check it out. Already, we have found out that the character Chris, all right, he had a busted up nose. He looked pretty beat up. And the police officer came to his class to question him. All right. So that was the first chapter. So you guys had to go and listen to that chapter. So now I'm about to read to you guys the next chapter, which is entitled They Look Like Criminals. Uh-oh. They look like criminals. You guys cheated, Zach Fallon accused, angrily kicking the basketball off the court. Hey, don't kick it, Eric Trebek said. You'll break the valve. I'm just sick of them cheating, Zach said. We don't have to cheat to beat you, Roger said with a snort. All we got to do is show up. Weston, Roger's teammate, chuckled and high-fived him. You stacked the teams, Zach persisted. He looked for support from his defeated teammates, Eric and Daniel Hood. Right, guys? Daniel was hunched over, hands on his knees, wheezing like a ball pump, trying to catch his breath. Eric nodded. You guys do have all the shooters, Roger. Daniel, unable to talk while sucking in air, raised the thumbs up to show he agreed. Zach added, "And you all play on the school team. We just play here." Here was Palisades Park, the perfectly groomed park surrounded by perfectly groomed homes. The park had tennis courts, three baseball fields, soccer fields, and a playground covered with a giant orange tarp to keep the sun off the little kiddies. The neighborhoods were so perfect that they attracted families of all nationalities. We had a large Asian population, mostly Vietnamese, and lots of Latinos. On weekends, the soccer field had cricket players from the numerous Indian and Pakistani families in the area. "Fine," Roger sighed. "Let's mix up the teams. What do you think, Chris?" I agreed with Zach that Roger had deliberately stacked the teams. We'd crushed them 15-2 in less than 10 minutes. It would be even worse if we played them again. Daniel would need an oxygen mask and a team of paramedics on standby. "I'll swap with Daniel," I said. I walked over and stood next to Zach and Eric. Zach smiled triumphantly. "Yeah, I'm good with that." Daniel shrugged and went to stand with Roger and Weston. He was 6 inches shorter than them and 20 pounds heavier. He looked like half a vending machine. He probably shouldn't even be playing, but his dad had promised him $100 if he lost 10 pounds in 6 weeks, so here he was. Roger frowned, clearly unhappy with the decision. "Why don't we just shoot for teams? That's fair." Of course it wasn't fair, because Roger, Weston, and I were the better shooters. The three of us would probably end up on the same team again. But Roger didn't care about fair or even having good teams. He wanted to win. That was fine when we were playing for the school, but when playing pickup games at Palisades Park, it was ridiculous. I retrieved the basketball from where it had landed on the grass. When I looked up, I saw two guys in their early 20s sitting on one of the stone benches in the distance near the snack stand. They were munching on popcorn and drinking blue ices, staring right at us, like they were in a movie theater and we were the show. I couldn't make out their faces, but one had his short blonde hair combed straight up into a faux hawk. The other wore a black hoodie with the hood up and dark wraparound sunglasses. But what struck me was that the guy in the hood had a rolling suitcase standing next to him. Who walks around the park with a suitcase? "Stranger danger," Weston said, nodding at the two guys. He grinned. "Maybe we should call the cops." "And tell them what?" Zach asked. "I don't know. They look like criminals. Who wears a hood when it's 80 degrees out? What's up with the suitcase?" "Maybe he's selling stolen iPhones or something," Daniel said. I handed the ball to Roger. "You're outs." Usually we shoot from the three-point line for possession, but I knew this would stop Roger's complaining about the teams. Instead, he'd take it as a direct challenge. He grabbed the ball from me with a glare. "Ball in," he growled, and he fired a pass to Weston. Weston quickly spun and banked a 5-footer off the backboard. "I wasn't ready," Zach whined. "I thought we were still talking about those guys." I couldn't help but look up the slope at the two guys on the bench. Blonde faux hawk was laughing and throwing popcorn at Hoodie, who seemed to be scowling down at us. "1 to zip," I said. "Let's play ball." Oh boy. Here y'all go. This book right here, still in the game. Chapter 2, what's going on? What's up with these guys at the park? Suitcase, hoodie, 80 degrees. Oh, wow. The plot thickens already, and it's just the beginning of this book. Well, I hope you guys join me next time to find out what is up with those guys and who is going to win that basketball game as well. All right, you guys, I want you all to take care and remember to please keep reading for at least 30 minutes a day. Happy reading, family.